love that she plugged my video. How cool is that? I did that in my bedroom in like 10 minutes. Hold on a second. Okay, so before we get started, I want everybody to put your hands in the air and go like this. Yes, like this. Like this. Okay, you have no excuse not to take notes now. You are all warmed up. All right, we are going to take lots of notes. I'm going to give you everything I have in the next half an hour. I've had enough coffee for everyone in this room. So this is going to be great. How many of you have heard me speak before? Oh, so just a handful of people. That's awesome. So if you don't know, Cheryl was your morning prayer. I am going to be your cup of coffee, and we're going to have fun. So my name is Amber Valentine. I'm about to tell you the story of how I turned a hot mess into the hotness that you see before you today. Don't worry. Over the next half an hour, I'm going to share with you a few ways that you can do that too. But a few things first. You need to know that I love myself unconditionally. And I'm humble. However, I require a lot of attention. So please get involved. Speak up during this time. Do not sit still. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. Will do. Yes, girl. Will do whenever you hear something good that resonates with you. Okay? It's time to get excited in here. Now let's try it. Who else in here is a self-proclaimed hot mess? Yes. All right. Okay. Very good. I'm among my people. All right, so let's talk about my transformation. We're going to see if this works. Okay, so that's me. Can you believe it? I know. She was a hot mess. Thank you. Yes, girl. My big change from a hot mess to hotness was actually a 300-pound transformation that rocked my world forever. It was actually 100 pounds of body weight and 200 pounds of a husband that had to go. Just thinking it. Now don't worry, I'm not going to insist that you leave your husband. This isn't a man-hating girl power speech. I am in fact still great friends with my ex-husband. He is a good man. And I am a great woman. It just turns out that we had different plans for our life. I was trying to drag him on trips around the world, speaking events, galas, and world domination. He wanted to retire from truck driving, watch TV, eat TV dinners until he died. We were never gonna make it. We both agreed it was time to move on, and with a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders in that decision. And it made me realize how much of the rest of my world I was dragging around, begging to come with me, convincing them that I was on the right path. Then I figured out what I'm going to share with you today. Write this down. I can't stand that this is behind me. If you are yourself 100% of the time, life gets 100% easier. Yes. The people around you love you just the way you are. You attract people to you that are easy to please, easy to keep, and easy to lead because they actually feel the same way you do. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to constantly talk them into doing life with you. You just have to take the time to find the real you and those amazing people like you. You get to shine, I worked it in here, as you all the time with all of the people in your life. You get to live out loud. Yes, girl. Now, let me share with you how this happened for me. Let's go back. This says 10 years. I need to update my speech. It's been a little more than 10 years, just a smidge. But I was in my late 20s with a husband, 3 dogs, 2.5 kids is the national average. That's why it says I don't have half a kid. I have a 6-figure income. I was driving a pink Cadillac up to my white picket fence home every day. I had it all. And I was miserable. Miserable. I couldn't figure out why, if I had checked all the boxes that everyone else had told me that were supposed to make me happy, that I just wasn't. Yes, girl? Yes, girl. Anybody else got some boxes checked that somebody else told you was a good idea and you check the box? And you're like, what am I doing here? How did I get here? I also had the problem of some extra weight. I had pretty much been able to slam every other goal anyone had ever given me, except that body weight. Anybody else? No matter what I did, it didn't budge. I counted calories. I spent 3 hours in the gym it's actually 2. That's a typo. I'm not gonna lie to you. I spent 2 hours in the gym every day with a trainer, paid a doctor $2,500 for a program, swallowed pills, cut out carbs, rubbed creams on my butt, every one I could find, and still nothing. Now, don't get it twisted. I was still cute. But I couldn't figure out how to change it. Like, what is happening here? I've been able to hit every goal I had. Until I went to visit my therapist one day, and she changed my life forever. So I went to my therapist and I said, excuse me, because she goes to the gym with me, and she was swallowing some of those pills and putting some of those creams on her butt too. And I said, because you drag other people down your alleys with you. So I asked her, I was like, girl, how are the even skinny people in the world? Because I had gone to the doctor that day, and he looked at me and said, you must be like angling for something. Are you looking for diet pills or something? Because if you were doing what I told you to do, it would be working. And then this man had the audacity. I don't know where he is today, but they'll never find him. So, yeah, he's dating Cheryl's friend, right? So I called this man. He had the audacity to write on his chart, morbidly obese. And I was like, excuse me, I am not fat, and I am not so fat that I could die. We have got to figure out something here. This has really gotten old and fast. And it broke me. So I go to my therapist and I'm like, I just don't understand. I don't get it. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. And she said, I have an idea for you, but you're not gonna wanna hear it. Now, I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm a little sassy and I can be stubborn. And I don't like to listen to anything but the sound of my own voice. So I didn't wanna hear what she had to say, but I listened anyway. She said, Amber, you get on stage every day, because I was speaking at that time to other business owners and helping them, create $1 million companies. Yes, girl, thank you. And I was telling them, she's like, you tell these women every day that if they think that rich people are snobby, they'll never make money, right? And I'm like, yeah, duh. And she's like, okay. I'm like, what does that have to do with weight loss? She said, well, honey, you come from an abusive household. Now, the part of my story I haven't told you is that I put my father in jail when I was in high school. I was kicked out of my home. I was homeless, and then I did what anyone would do to fix that, and I had 2 kids as a teenager. I mean, that totally helped. And so I stand before you today with a 10th grade education. Okay, like crazy life, right? And that was the story I was telling on stage. And she said, Amber, you come from an abusive household. I think subconsciously, deep down inside of you, that you are afraid that if you become sexy and desirable, that would put you in danger. I said, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I don't want to look cute in a bikini. I don't know what you're talking about. But then I went home and I thought about it for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I do kind of not like attention. I love attention, don't get me wrong, but I don't like attention from guys, right? And I'm like, why? Oh, there might be something to this. So I did a little research. Turns out there are 2 reasons that women will hold on to extra weight. There's actually 3 that I've discovered since then, but we'll stick to the original 2. 1, because they're afraid to be sexy and desirable. They don't think that they can handle the attention that comes from that, or they're afraid they'll be seen as promiscuous because they're sexy, right? And that's not always a good thing for some reason. The other one was that somewhere along the way, someone told this woman that they did not deserve something because they were X. Stupid, unqualified, ugly, whatever it is, right? Or embarrassed this girl. So when she was teeny tiny, she decided that she was never gonna have that thing. And when you get older, it's a lot easier to eat and say, I cannot have that thing because I am fat. I hate the word I am fat, just so you know. I hear it the same way you do, but it's the only way to say it because I want to speak to you like you speak to you, okay? I can't have this because I'm fat. I can't have the promotion. I can't have the boyfriend. I can't travel because I can't fit in the airline seat. You can avoid so many things in your life by having that extra weight on you. It's a lot easier than saying, I actually think I'm stupid, right? So we eat and we just avoid the problem. So I got mad. And I put it all together, and I was thinking, like, my God, how many women in this world just think they're broken and don't even realize what's going on? Well, I don't want to be one of those women anymore. So I put together meditation, affirmation, visualization, all the things that I do in my business life to make me a bad bee. And then I put together a nutrition program. I put together a nutrition program, and I followed it. And in 4 months, I lost 70 pounds. Thank you. Yes, you can clap. Wow, that was a lot of work. So I was like, hot dog, man, this was great, right? Like, it just melted off of me. I felt so good. I was doing all these wonderful things. And then I just started to go on about my life. Well, I started getting up on the front and speaking, telling these women how they can make $1 million, and I made the 300-pound transformation joke, right? Well, at the end of my presentations, there'd be a line of women at the side of the stage, and they didn't want to know anything about how to move their business. They wanted to know, how did you lose that 100 pounds? How did you do that? And I'm like, well, it's a couple of things, and it's something I developed myself, but I didn't really think about sharing it with them. I don't know if it would work for you. Like, here, do these couple of things. And then they would call me like 2 months later, I lost 50 pounds. You got to talk to my sister. And her sister would come and I'd work with her. And then I started crying with these women and overcoming life things with these women. And oh my God. And then I accidentally started a business that led me to you. Yes. So, coming to terms with the fact that shiny, successful, powerful, eat nails for breakfast, closing big deals, and knocking them dead on the stage, Amber Valentine, there's more of that humility, was living out of fear was tough. Would you like to know how I changed that?
Yes.
Who here would benefit from finding and turning around some same fears in your life? Yeah? We have some things. Okay. I did it the way that you don't want to hear. I used meditation, affirmation, and visualization to overcome the fear, and I'm going to demonstrate a small part of how that works for you here in a minute. But first, let's talk about fear. Fear comes in many forms. Fear comes in many forms. Flying, falling, spiders, success, failure, cats. Don't judge me. No, I don't. Your cat is not different. Scary. Side note, the reason I have cards is because of all these side notes that I would tell you and I would never leave up here. I tried to get a picture of a scary cat on the thing that I was building the slideshow from. They were all the same pictures as the regular cats because cats are scary. Okay. I am not the only one. Okay. We've all heard the false evidence appearing real, and so on. But how about the fact that fear and faith require the same thing? Have you ever thought about this? Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by belief that someone or something is dangerous, that the situation in front of you is going to end badly. You choose this up front. Correct? Y'all better be writing. Okay. What is faith? This is why I'm turning around every time. Faith is a belief with especially strong conviction and without question, generally positive, and that the situation in front of you is going to be good. Ahead of time, you decide it's going to be good. And I think Cheryl demonstrated this beautifully with her faith in God as she was going through her struggle with cancer. She made it seem effortless, right? Like, oh my God, I want to be like her when I grow up, if I ever decide to grow up. I don't think it might not happen at this point, but they both require the exact same thing of you, fear and faith. You're looking at a situation ahead of time and you're choosing whether you are going to say that it's good or say that it's bad. Now, I want you to hear my heart on what I'm getting ready to say to you. It's kind of interesting. I didn't know what you were going to talk about before, but thanks for proving this point for me, Cheryl. My favorite example of fear or faith is cancer. Obviously, if I ask you if cancer is bad, everyone in this room is going to say, yes, it's terrible. Yes, girl, it's awful. However, look at this way with me. How many cancer survivors do you know that will say that they now live much happier and faithful lives, and that having cancer changed their life forever and for the better? Right? We just heard from someone, that's great. No one likes cancer. However, for some people, it's the best thing that ever happened to them. I understand for others it's not. I know I've lost people to cancer. We've all lost people to cancer. It's not something we would ask for. But when it's given to us, we can look at it and say, okay, this is going to change, well, it's going to change your life. But is it going to change it for the better? Or is it going to change it for the worse? Can you change it? What can you control? Your belief in the situation, and whether you approach it with fear or faith, you really do have a choice. Always choose faith. Anytime you get the choice, which is always, because the control lies in your hands. Now, you are only born with the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Every single other fear that you have comes from somewhere else. You have no idea how important this is for you to know. I'll use the example of ghosts. I bet most people in here have never seen one. But do you really want to? Like, hold on, I think I have, yeah, there we go. I didn't put that on here. I bet most people in here have never seen one, but you really don't want to, do you? Like, do you want to see a ghost? Well, why? You've never seen it. Is it because a friend saw one and said it was scary? Is it because of a made-up Hollywood movie that told you they were terrible? Like, what if they were really cool and, like, totally chill? And like, they could tell you things you don't know about. Be like, go through that wall and tell me. Love to know that. How do you know? You really don't know unless you experience it yourself. You're just going on what everyone else says. Every single fear you have is exactly the same way. It's a learned behavior. I have an awesome way to teach you to unlearn and retrain your brain around these things. If you want to learn it, you're going to have to reach out to me, though, because I can't do that from up here. So shameless plug for my business. I forgot to tell you when I got started, you all have a hot mess to hotness sheet on your table. Fill this out. Even if you just want to call me and be like, girlfriend, where did you get those shoes? Fill it out, okay? You can connect with me in many different ways. I would love to hear from you. We're going to take these up when I'm done speaking, so fill them out now. I will think you're taking notes. And I like that. And then at the end, I do a prize drawing. So it won't be today because I have to leave, but you will hear from me if you are the winner, I promise. Okay. Now, I promised to tell you about meditation, affirmation, and visualization. I can never say that. That is a tongue twister, in case you didn't know. I've said it 100 times. I can't do it. Meditation, affirmation, visualization. That helped me overcome my fears and why that is important. How many of you in here use these tools in your business or personal growth life already? Give me a yes, girl.
Yes, girl.
Good. How many of you in here think it's weird voodoo-related snake oil nonsense and would rather go hide in the bathroom than hear what I'm about to say? Yes, girl? Yeah. Okay, we have one honest person in the room. That's great. All right. Listen, Shannon. I felt the same. I love you. I felt the same way, and I agree you are not going to sit in front of the mirror and repeat, I am rich over and over again, and then suddenly have $1 million. I have tried, it doesn't work. However, let me tell you the part I can somewhat prove to you. Inside your being, you have what we call a thinker and a prover. This basically means your thinker thinks up stuff, and then hands it to your prover, and the prover goes to proving what your thinker thinks. An easier way to say this is that your brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what you tell it is real. It is the same reason you can make up a dream in one side of your brain and watch it with the other one in terror, right? You made it up. Why are you scared? This is in your brain. Like, what? Because your prover believes what your thinker is telling it. You need to hack into your thinker with visualization and affirmations. I'll give you an easy demonstration as promised to help you believe this a bit more, and that your thoughts can control things you do physically without thinking about it first. Let's do a quick visualization together. It requires your full participation and belief to work. So close your eyes and follow along with me because I'm watching. I can see you. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to try to think, feel, smell, and taste everything I'm about to tell you, okay? As if it's happening right in front of you. I am standing in the front of the room with a plate full of fresh cut lemons. As I'm walking around the room, you can smell the lemons. And suddenly, I lock eyes with you. I'm walking straight towards you with that silly grin on my face with a plate full of lemons. I'm walking up to you and I put the plate under your nose and you can smell it. And I look straight into your big, beautiful eyeballs and I tell you, I'm going to make you eat one of these lemons. You think, oh no, okay. So I pick up the lemon, I squeeze it, and the juice goes down my hand. A little bit spurts on the end of your nose. And before you can do anything about it, I put that lemon right in your mouth, and you bite down and the juice goes all in your mouth. Okay, that's enough. How many of you could almost smell the lemons? Yes, girl?
Yes, girl.
How many knew I was going to stick one in your mouth?
Yes, girl.
Raise your hand or say yes, girl, if your mouth started to water a little bit to prepare for the lemon.
Yes, girl.
Yeah, about half the room. That's crazy, right? Why would your mouth water when you know very well there is not a lemon in front of you? You were just making it up in your head, but your brain went ahead and physically prepared for you to bite the lemon anyway. That is because you literally act out, prepare for, and bring on what you think about. We all have been told this, but you just proved it to yourself. You act on unconscious things all the time, like blinking and swallowing, stuff like that. Now you're paying attention to it, but it was subconscious before. Mindfulness does this for you. It takes the subconscious things, it brings them to the conscious, and then you can think about them and work on them. Just like I didn't know that I didn't want to be sexy in a bikini. I thought I did, but there was a little girl inside me going, no, don't do that, it's really scary. And I couldn't hear her, but my thinker could, and my prover could. And so I was just not getting what I wanted. Okay, so moving on. I think we can all agree that we want to retrain our thinker. Now, let's talk about sitting still and listening to yourself. Meditation is like a dirty word half the time. Some folks think it's a religion. Others are too busy to sit still for 10 minutes, which is really sad. We should fix that. And others just don't see the point. I was one of those people. However, meditation trains a muscle you need to build or right now. Like, don't waste any more time not doing this. Meditation stops the hamster wheel and strengthens the part of your brain that can separate the emotion and logical part for decisions. You know, like when you want to eat a whole bag of chips but you aren't actually hungry, or when your kid is screaming and pulling off her shoes while you're looking for your car keys and now you have to put her shoes back on for the 10th time and not be mean about it? It's really hard to do. Or when that one girl at work is doing that thing that drives you crazy and you have to keep yourself from pouring your coffee in her lap accidentally so she has to go home early and stop ruining your day. Just me? Okay. Those muscles. Yes, girl. All right. Let me tell you about the first time that I tried meditation, okay? Because I was one of those busy people that ain't have time for none of that. So I sat down, I was like, I can do this. It's 10 minutes, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna like think about nothing, but like, what am I gonna pack the kids for school lunch today? And you know, like, the one doesn't like crackers, and the other one wants this, and then, oh, I wonder what shoes I'm gonna wear today. I should post that on social media. I'll post their lunches. Wait, I'm not supposed to think about anything. Okay, wait, I'm gonna do this. But like, for real, that post on social media is gonna be fire. I'm gonna cut those little turkeys up into, I couldn't do it. And I got madder and madder and madder as I sat there because I realized that there's this whole like story playing in our head all the time to distract us from anything that's actually happening inside of us. It's how we stay away from that little girl that's screaming down there inside. Can we get a yes, girl? It's scary. Yes, girl. So what I did is I got up and I was like, this is dumb, because that's normally my attitude. I suck. And I went to stomp out of the room, and I heard a little voice inside me that I think was put there so that I could say this to every one of you. The voice said to me, ma'am, if you cannot spend 10 minutes alone with yourself, what makes you think someone else is going to want to?
Yes, girl.
I was like, damn. I really don't want to spend 10 minutes alone with myself. What's in there? Ew. Like, I guess I'm going to have to go figure this out. You have to reprogram your thinker. Okay, now I'll tell you what else happened when I went back to do meditation, and this will get you. I sat there and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Oh my God, I'm doing it. thinking about anything. Is that still thinking about something? I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. How do you think about nothing? That's crazy. Anyway, whatever, that's still meditation. You're not going through the hamster wheel, and you're sitting there still. If you need some help, call me, I got you. You have to reprogram your thinker to be able to change the action of your prover. This is why if you just try to power through your day and through your problem like I did with the weight loss, you won't actually get a lasting result. You have this much willpower. It runs out. We've all done this. Good thing I figured out how to hack the whole system, right? Wait till I show you affirmations. It's amazing. But again, I can't do those from up here. So check a box on your thing and we'll connect. The best part of affirmations is you get to rewrite your truth in your own voice. You have so many other voices in there controlling that hamster wheel. I was operating on an underlying fear that being sexy would be dangerous, but in my conscious mind, I wanted to be hot. I had learned to talk to the thinker and change my own truth to be able to prove it. Yes, girl.
Yes, girl.
It's not easy stuff. I told you, coffee, come here, coffee. Okay. So remember earlier when I said if you are you 100% of the time, life gets 100% easier. That is because when you are really you, it's easy. You aren't covering up anything or pretending or acting, you're just being you. You aren't covering up anything or pretending, you're just being you. Oh, look at me repeating myself. That is effortless on a daily basis, and then people that you attract will have the same energy and focus and desires that you do, or that speak to you, and you can work together easier. When you learn to retrain your thinker, you get to control your intentions and be yourself more of the time. You aren't acting out of fear or protecting out of spite. You are in flow and acting on greatness. I do this all the time with Hot Mess to Hotness. Here's the single greatest tip of the day. There are two of you, at least, going on inside of you right now. And before you do all this tough work of digging out the hot mess, there is the hotness, which is the greatest version of yourself. Take a second and think about her for a minute. You know that bad bee inside of you that when you're on fire, at the top of your game, in your flow, can't nobody tell you nothing. That girl. Yes, girl. Your best self. Do you know what she looks like? Picture her for a second. Get into her. Write down some of her traits. Just take 2 seconds. Write down some of the things. Do it, I'm watching. Now, I'm sure you're very familiar with your hot mess, right? The one that can never find the car keys, always screwing up pickup lines. Who uses that? What was I even doing when I wrote this? And making things awkward unnecessarily. The one living out of fear you haven't tackled yet, and a thinker that has gone crazy listening to everyone else. That is your hot mess. Can you picture her? Now that you have them both in your mind, here's your survival tip. Whenever you have a problem that seems scary and impossible, and you just can't seem to see your way around it, I want you to sit down and think to yourself, if I was in my hotness, my absolute best version of myself, what would that girl do right now? What would she do?
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, girl. She ain't afraid of nothing. Can't nobody tell her nothing. The one that knows she cannot fail, lives out of faith, and believes in her own intentions, shines like a supernova. See, I put it in there again. What would she do? What would she do? And it's so much easier to make decisions from that place. Go sit down and write out what your hotness self looks like in detail. What does she eat? What does she wear? What does she say? Does she have shoes like this? She should have shoes like this.
Yes, girl.
Yes, thank you. Can I just for a second, I'm standing on one foot, look at me. These shoes came in the mail yesterday. I saw them, and because I always wear butterfly shoes. If you've heard me speak before, you know butterflies on the back of my heels, right? And they're usually like yellow and black and like these really bright things. And I saw these sparkly ones, and I'm supposed to talk about shining today, and then these showed up, and it was like perfect, and I had to change my whole outfit, and I haven't slept. But it's okay. It was totally worth it, right? All right. Okay, where was I? How does she make people feel? How does she handle trouble? The next time the world is crashing down around you and you have to pull it out for your hotness survival guide. From you to you. Now, what if I asked you to write on paper why you can't be her all the time? I just got goosebumps. That was for somebody, clearly. Why can't you be your hotness all the time? Who are you pushing that down for? That light that God gave you, you're supposed to shine that on everybody, even if they don't like it, even on Claire. Right? Who cares if she don't like it? She can sit across just like your daddy told you. She can sit across the hall and be over there with those girls. She's the one missing out. Right? We all hate Claire collectively. Look at that. She might have had 8 girls in college. But you got 120 40 years later. So, all right. Okay, so that was your pro tip. The next one's free. Or that one is free. The next one is like $1 million because it's life-changing stuff. You're welcome. Okay. Now, I feel like I made that last point sound easy. And I know social media has us all believing that everyone just walks around in perfection all the time and everyone has their stuff together, right? Well, let me tell you for sure. Anyone who tries to tell you that everyone has their stuff together is selling you something, and it stinks. No one has it together. And honestly, that isn't how we make friends anyway. Who in here is friends with someone because you were acting perfectly and they were acting all perfect and you two were like, oh my God, we are so perfect. We should be friends. You're laughing because you know. That's never going to happen. You all have friends you bonded over something or someone that you hate. We're all friends now because of Claire. You saw them being petty over something, and you catch yourself being petty over all the time and thought, me and this chick are gonna get along, right? It is our imperfections that draw others to us, so let them out. Let them out. Prove me wrong on that. We don't want to hang out with perfect people that make us feel inadequate. We want to grow with people who are like-minded and a little hot messy like us, right? Yes, girl.
Yes, girl.
Okay, so I have a leadership story about this to close, and then a big thought for you. Am I supposed to tell the story right now? Yes. Okay. So, see, if I didn't have notes, y'all, I don't even know what I would say to you up here. It'd be ridiculous. You'd be getting the last 5 hours of my life, not the last 15 years. So, we all have to know how to keep our hotness where it needs to be. So, I want you to picture this for me. This was before I learned my lesson. I was on a women's trip for the large billion-dollar company that I was working for, changing all these women's lives with these stories of how they can make up $1 jillion, right? I had to wear that. I drove a pink Cadillac, I wore an expensive suit, and diamonds all over me, all that stuff, right? Look at me. I was really good at it, though. And we were on a trip, I think it was LA, getting ready to walk down the red carpet. It's such a cool thing. I was like all high on life. But I got out of an elevator in the hotel and realized that like all the people I wanted to impress were at the bottom of the escalator, because it was an elevator to an escalator to Starbucks. And everybody was at Starbucks. And I took the moment to have my grand entrance as I walked out of the elevator. Hello, I am here. Your leader has arrived. Look at me and all my diamonds and my big shoes and my purse, right? I was a mess. But anyway, I wanted all eyes on me and I got it. But let me tell you what happened. I got to the top of the escalator in my big shoes. I had a nice little expensive purse of some kind, you know, because that shows our worth. And I grabbed the escalator thing, yeah. And the purse flew around the escalator and like got stuck. So my hand's on the thing, it's going. I'm stuck. It gets tighter the more we go. You picturing it? It was cute. And it yanked me off of my feet because I continue to go in my big shoes and I can't keep up with the escalator. Now everybody is definitely moving because I'm screaming and I lose a shoe. That's like the worst thing that you can do to me, okay? Nobody loves shoes more than me. So I lose a shoe, it goes bouncing down the thing. I am literally screaming. I've got my hands stuck and I'm bumping on the escalator, okay? Some poor woman comes out of nowhere and rescues me. She throws the handbag around. I flop down on the escalator and ride it the rest of the way down on my back, okay? Trying to put my ego back together. collect myself at the bottom. Put my shoe back. I got into Starbucks. I said, never a word of this to anybody. I will kill you. No one wants to visit you on your high horse, but almost everyone will help you gather your shoes at the bottom of the steps and have a good laugh with you about it. I asked someone a few years ago who was on that trip with me, what was something that helped her to be successful? And it was seeing the humanness in me. She thought to herself, that girl can do what anyone can. Yikes. But at the same time, yes, girl. Yes, girl. Because she saw me struggle and do it anyway. That is what it's all about. Our poor kids these days see everybody being perfect all the time. They think they have to be perfect, so they don't even try because they know they can't be. Honestly, the fear never goes away. We just choose to side with fate and do life anyways. In closing, the only difference between a hot mess and a hot mess is, damn it. That's my grandma's word, you're welcome. The only difference between a hot mess and hotness is truth and grace. You have to be real honest with yourself about where you are messy. Then you have to decide where it's okay to stay messy and apply grace. Let it go, sis. Let it go. Then you have to decide where it isn't okay and apply truth and some elbow grease. This is the formula for hot mess to hotness. The transformation where you get to experience the true freedom of living your best self. The 6 inches between your ears determines all the other measurements in your life. All of them. All right, points to walk away with. Number 1, I need lots of attention. And I'm single, did you catch that? I heard you. I want you to write that prayer down for me, okay? True story, first time I met Cheryl, I love her. She is definitely a girlfriend I will carry with me the rest of my life. We talked about said husband for a long time. I was like, give me some more, girl. So God said, what to you now? Yeah. All right, number 2. Check your own boxes. Checking the boxes set by others will never make you happy. You are the one that has to be you tomorrow and live your life, so design it the way you want it to be. Be who you be. Whoever in here is trying to make a decision right now because somebody else told you to, stop it. Shut up. Stop. Go do the thing you know you want to do. Number 3, you get to choose between fear and faith in all circumstances. Choose faith every single time, even when it's hard. Call Cheryl, she'll help you. Number 4, sit down and hush up. If you can't spend 10 minutes alone with yourself, how can you expect someone else to want to? Everything you need to know about you, it's in there. You just have to stop the hamster wheel and deal with it. This is hard stuff. Number 5. These are not my shoes. I just happened to find this picture, which I think is amazing. I wasn't the only one it happened to. It is easy to lead those that you are yourself with. Perfection is impossible. If you try to be cute with the universe, you will lose a few points off your ego. And even worse, maybe a shoe. Number 5, dig deep and do the hard work. Apply the grace and truth rule to your hot mess and girl, unapologetically tap into your hotness. She knows what to do. She's always sitting there on your shoulder in 6-inch stilettos and red lipstick being a bad bee. Listen to her and trust the best parts of yourself. Next, call me. I have so many great things to tell you. So much to share with you. I offer 2 different programs, a weight loss program and a mindfulness, a badass mindfulness program to get you where you want to be even if you don't need to lose weight, okay? So let's connect, let's talk. I'd love to come speak at your next event. I love nothing more than the sound of my own voice, okay? So invite me and I will speak. And then I will close with a poem that we've all heard, but it proves my point perfectly. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine. as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. There you go. That concludes me talking today. Thank you very much. Yes, girl!
All right, Amber, another little clap. That was awesome. Questions? Who wants to ask Amber a question? All right, I'm up here now, so if someone else has to ask a question.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Where'd you get those shoes?
Where'd you get those shoes? That's right.
A magician never tells her secrets. However, the prize drawing, if you're the winner, you get to choose between a pair of my shoes or a purse. Not one I've worn. Don't worry about it. You get your own pair. But yes, so turn your things in. We're going to collect those right now, actually. Your little hot mess to hotness shoes.
All right, good question. Any others?
I want to see your shoes.
Oh,
You can't see them? Well, why don't I just take a walk?
There you
Look.
go.
Oh, I know why I'm not taking a walk. Okay. Yeah, they hurt. They're so cute.
Oh, yeah.
I would take them off and hold them up, but I can't get them off. Ever since the escalator incident, things are tacked on a little hard.
Any other questions for Amber? Awesome.
Well, in case you didn't know, I love you. Mwah.